Hey guys, Abel Ramos and Jackie Potter with Compass Santa Barbara. We're going to be going over our November market update for the South Coast, how we did in comparison to 2022, and what's on the horizon for what's little time we have left in the year and
couple
the
weeks
start of
away.
2024. So let's get right to it. Jackie, take it away.
Awesome. I'm going to start with our highest sale price of November, which was a $13 million property in Montecito Ranch Estates, which, contradictory to the name, is actually in Summerland, but it's a private gated community with ocean views, gorgeous home. And the lowest sale price of November was $900,000, and that was for an off-market fixer really close to Santa Barbara High School.
Yeah, which will most likely, I'm sure, be fixed and flipped and put back on the market because that's a really great price to be able to buy a home in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, absolutely.
Transitioning to, from high and low, let's get to the median sales price because some interesting information there. So for a single family home, we're at $2.1 million for a single family home in Santa Barbara. Condo median sales price is at $950,000. And you made an interesting point that I thought would be cool to mention here about median sales price.
Yeah, we've had a lot of, as I call it, hoopla about the market in 2023. We had a lot of stuff going on in our national economy, as well as, just media headlines and a lot of negative talk about the housing market. But when you compare our single family and condo median sales price this year to 2022, there is a 0% change in price.
So the market did not crash.
The market did not crash.
Yeah, exactly. And that was probably the one thing that we had to deal with the most at the beginning of 2023.
You almost feel crazy telling people like, hey, if you're waiting for a crash, let's re-strategize this because that's not happening,
And everyone thought you were full of it or you were just
a realtor,
a salesperson just trying to get over on them or whatever. But the basic point to make here is that it always has been supply and demand. Right. We're going to get into that next, but it has always been supply and demand. We didn't have the supply then. We do not have the supply now. So if you're one of those that's now saying you're waiting for 2024 to crash, that's not happening either. So
we had the lowest number of sales in the last 20 years.
So demand was down.
Inventory was what?
Inventory's at 2.2. So inventory didn't drastically shoot up.
Right.
So people aren't rushing to list their home. Buyers got squeezed out of the market. It's one of the slowest years of sale transactions that we've seen in 20 years.
Right.
Why wouldn't the market crash, right? With everything that we just said, you would think the market should have crashed. But it all comes down to supply. And if we didn't have enough supply or more supply than the demand that was there, people didn't need to take price drops and give away their home, right? But you made another interesting point about that too. So let's talk about that based on the median sales price, how much it's increased, right?
Well, so in 2020, and let's take a look at 2021, the median sales price rose 15% in 1 year. So
there's room.
There's room to take a 0% change for 1 year.
Or even if it's 5%, 6%, like the market's not crashing. There's so much appreciation from 2019 that there's room for a price correction, but how big that correction is going to be is not going to be anywhere close to what people thought it was going to be.
In November, we had 79 sales and 62 price drops. Days on market is still 34 single family homes, and I think it's about 24 for condos. So what that's saying is the market is still moving. We're not taking price drops because we have more excess in inventory. We're taking price drops because agents aren't strategizing pricing properly. They're still running on that COVID mentality of pricing high, and maybe it's not agents.
I was going to say sellers. It could be sellers.
Maybe it's sellers as well.
But sellers
have a different expectation, and I think without understanding what the market is doing right now, you might be those price drops if you're a seller, but if you're a buyer, don't look at price drops as an indication of some crashing market because it's really just a lack of strategy.
Exactly, or just a poor decision on the homeowner's part.
Right.
Not wanting to trust their advisor and listen to what's being told to them.
Switching gears to another really interesting comparison between last year and this year. Last year, we had a 34% year-to-date cash market. This year to date, we are 41%. And
41.
in November, it was
46.
46%. So
Very strong.
yeah, absolutely. That's another
A
thing
lot
that's
of money out there.
There's a lot of money out there, and it's supporting a market. Think if almost half of every transaction is just in cash, they're not worried about what's going on in, the interest rate world. But talking about interest rates, let's kind of talk about the future. This month being December,
Rates have come down.
We've seen interest rates come down.
Feds have said that they're going to lower their, Fed's funds rate a few times next year in 2024.
Yep.
Market has reacted favorably towards that news, and interest rates have come down already.
Yep. And
quite a bit.
With that being said, we presume buyers are just going to start coming into the market. I think
we've seen it.
I think we felt it. We'll pull up the data when it comes out to kind of, reassure us that what we're feeling is true. But it seems like a lot more buyers are out there. There's a lot more busyness happening just this month.
Yeah, and just kind of something I want to bring up here. When we feel it, it's usually when we're checking these 24-hour hot sheets, watching the market data on a daily basis.
Talking to our network.
Yeah, or listening to, what other people have coming or what other people have put under contract every week. You can see and feel that as an agent, not as a consumer, but as an agent, you can see it.
Yeah.
And this week alone, you mentioned the pending properties we've had. What did you say they were at?
I think we had 49 pending
this month so far, but I feel like I've seen a lot go pending in the more affordable price point. So that tells me as rates come down, and just so you know, Housing Wire, you can pull up the rates. Jumbo rate on Housing Wire, when I checked yesterday, was 7.06. There was a time when that rate was in the high sevens, almost 8%.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the conforming stuff, we're already back into the sixes. Rates will most likely hit the fives in 2024.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. There you go.
And when when it does, like you said, so we had 49 pending sales, 31 of them were under $2 million. So as that rate keeps going down, that busier. Market is just going to get busier.
So if you're on the fence thinking about buying, you're really missing an opportunity.
Yeah, right now, people haven't totally caught on to the interest rates. So if you're thinking about making a move, whether you're selling or buying, and all of this is still a little confusing, reach out. We'd love to discuss your situation compared to what we're seeing in the market and see how we can make it happen for you.
Yeah. All right. So there you have it. That's our November market update for 2023. I'm Abel Ramos with Compass. This is Jackie Potter with Compass. We'll catch you next time. Happy holidays.